guys.
Hey.
My God.
What's up?
What's up?
Look at this handsome son of a gun, Anthony. My
You
God.
looking in a mirror, Mike? You
I'm
looking in a
telling
mirror?
this is like the mirror of Dorian Gray on episode 26. You're really, I mean, if I look as good as you look, then I'm blessed, man. I'm telling you.
I look as good as you look when don't you worry.
Anthony, where have you been? Have you been at like a day spa or a month spa? What's been happening?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've been at a spa, right?
Right.
I was saving Canada or something, right?
Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
You were. Deep freeze Canada. You were saving
Deep freeze Canada. I was saving Canada. Well, I wanted to be on this very, very special episode. So, I had to get all that stuff out of the way. I had to get all that stuff, make sure I'm freed up, and here we are. Here we are for episode 26.
Stacy, we are episode 26.
I know. It's so
what is
exciting.
happening?
What is
happening?
That's what did we do? Well, how did we get?
I'll tell you,
numbers crazy.
I thought about us the other day. I was coming home from I didn't send this picture to you guys. I should. I have it now. Maybe I'll send it later, just so you guys know I'm telling the truth. I was coming home from a tour, and I was stopped at a light. Have you guys ever heard on Sirius Radio the two comedy channels, 98 and 99, Raw Dog? I don't know if you.
Yeah. Raw Dog comedy, yeah.
Okay, so I'm sitting there and I hear this voice coming out of the stand-up comedy channel. I said, "Oh, I know that voice. I know that voice." And I look at it, and sure enough, there's the individual's name that I had hosted a previous podcast with, and I took a picture of it.
Oh,
it had his name right there.
No
and
way.
he was talking about how you get uglier the more you're married. You get uglier and uglier, and that you always look like you're ready to go paint something in your house. It was actually very, very funny. I said, "Oh, okay. I hope he's doing well."
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in a little bit,
hilarious.
so yeah, it was really funny. So it was funny. He made it to Raw Dog. Which I was very happy to say, hey, I knew this guy, and he's a funny guy.
Yes. Congratulations. Yeah.
Congrats
that's a big
on
deal.
that.
I do know Raw Dog, even though I only have Sirius Radio for Elvis Radio, but yes, I do know Raw Dog.
Of course.
Yeah, but I understand that. Elvis Radio is incredible.
That's pretty much the reason why I got Sirius Radio. We need Rocky Files on Sirius Radio.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that?
That'd be cool.
Man, we'd really take off.
Rocky channel.
Speaking of taking off, we are like literally live from the new home office, and why not North Carolina? Stacy, how did this happen?
And why not?
I was kicking and screaming. I did not want to go.
You didn't.
I didn't. I like hot coffee. I like cold coffee. I like iced coffee in a warm climate like Mississippi, but
hot coffee right now.
We got booted out, so we had to go to
Will you get iced coffee in the summer, Stacy?
Oh yeah.
I actually, ironically, I drink iced coffee. I drink cold brew all year round.
Do you really?
Yeah, because it's not as bitter. When you brew coffee hot, it's real bit bitter. But if you do cold brew, I can't talk. It's sweeter. It's not it doesn't have that bitter bite, and so I
agree with that. I have cold coffee every morning.
Yep.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, I like it better.
I find cold coffee disgusting. My mother told me this funny story. I can only drink hot coffee.
2 against 1 there.
I know.
Yeah.
And so my mother told me this funny story about my father, how he would never have cold coffee. And one time, I don't know, she like stuck a funnel in his mouth and shoved it down his throat, and he loved it. So he's a fan of cold coffee. Yeah. I have had cold coffee. Mm-hmm. Disgusting.
Not a fan?
No.
Really?
No.
Sugar or no sugar? Okay, hold on a second. You've had cold coffee. What kind? Like American or espresso? Sugar, no sugar.
Whatever my wife paid $9 for at Starbucks, I had.
Okay, disgusting. You gotta have like espresso made cold coffee with you gotta sweeten it a little bit. All right, I gotta make you some cold coffee, and I think it'll change.
All right, I'll be right over. After the show.
Point of order.
Yes, go ahead.
There's a difference between iced coffee and cold brew. How is it brewed?
Yeah, right.
Because cold coffee is simply hot coffee that's
sitting on the counter too long.
This is true.
And then but cold brew, when you brew it and it doesn't get that, when it doesn't warm up the grounds as much, you don't get the bitter part.
Right. There's a whole process to that stuff. There's canisters. It's a whole
thing. Well, I am a proponent of being open-minded, so I'll try to crack out. I'll try to crack the little brain open a little bit more to try.
Yeah, cold brew is tasty. That is some tasty goodness right there.
All
so what else, guys? What have we been doing? Oh, Mike.
Yes.
We had a conversation a little while ago about you reading a certain book.
Yes.
Because I want to know how this book is, because I don't have this book yet.
Anthony, this is so weird that you said that. I just happen to have the book
right
here.
Look at
yeah.
Shocking.
It's
shocking.
DRAGO, On Mountains We Stand.
I'm sorry. What's it called? What's it called?
DRAGO.
Thank you.
On the Mountains We Stand.
If he doesn't read it, he will lose.
And on the back, it says, "My redemption, my vengeance."
Oh,
yeah. He told me that he picked this baby up.
Yeah. So we had a guest on a few months back, and they talked about this book, and I gotta have it. And so it's by a
shocking.
guy.
He got it.
Shocking. It's by a guy named Todd Noy. Now, Todd Noy is no longer with us. He's passed on, but he literally never paid for the rights for this book. So it's illegal. What he wrote was highly illegal, but he doesn't care. I'm just going to read
the name and everything.
Exactly. I'm going to read a very short thing that he writes.
Yeah.
The following work is a gross abuse of copyright. Names, places, and events have been unchanged. I have done this with the firm belief that a king's story is more important than the literary regulations I flaunt. Todd Noy, Sao Paulo, 1991. That's when he wrote this book in 91. Okay.
I just want to point out that he wrote this book and vanished.
Gone.
I don't know.
Yeah. I thought he went missing. Someone said he passed away, but I thought he went missing.
No, I don't think anyone knows. There's mystery about this person. Is it his name? Is this his real name? Whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
His name is. And
we don't even know that he existed.
Right, he just poof. But here is
maybe Todd Noy is a made-up name, but the book is really good. The book is about the crushing defeat at the hands of Rocky Balboa, and then DRAGO goes on this world journey to try to find who he is. And in the meantime, it flashes back to DRAGO at 12 years old, being literally kidnapped and turned into this fighting machine, into the Russian military, and the barracks where he stayed, and the competitions and the fear he had as a child. And then as he's walking the world, he runs into somebody that triggers a different thought process. DRAGO goes to Philadelphia, where he has several conversations with Rocky. Rocky does not have a restaurant at this point. There's very little to do with the Creed films, or Balboa or Creed. Almost none of it has anything to do with this book. So, which I suppose is a good thing.
Does he fight again?
DRAGO fights again. Yes. When Rocky goes to Russia, we know Rocky's stripped of the title, and then Clubber Lang steps in and becomes the champ. Once DRAGO readies himself, he's basically become persona non grata in Russia, and he makes his way into the American Boxing League. He rises up the ranks and he beats Clubber Lang, and DRAGO becomes the champion. All the while, Russia is building this new DRAGO, this bigger, better, stronger, faster, more roided up guy. So DRAGO has to fight him. But a weird phenomenon happens. Rocky becomes DRAGO's trainer, and together, Rocky's goodness, I think, helps heal DRAGO, because DRAGO is disgusted and sick with himself over what he did to Apollo. Right. And there's a big bronze Apollo statue in Las Vegas. There's some really, really good things in this book, and I'm not going to say people should buy it or not buy it. I don't want to get in trouble. I'm going to say I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I did. It's very thin. It's like a pamphlet. You can see it's not that thick.
Yeah, small.
I think there's, well, it says 85 pages, but the print is very big.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of syllables. There's not a lot of adjectives.
That sounds pretty cool. I have one issue with the whole thing, and I don't see any of that second half happening where I see him he's suffocated by Russia. Like I see he just not allowed to do anything. He's blackballed.
That's
I don't
exactly
see him fighting
what happens.
anyone or going anywhere. More like the Creed, where he came back and he was like, you know, I lost everything. I lost this. I lost that.
That was the only thing, honestly, Anthony, that had anything in common with this, with what we saw. But, anyways, enough on DRAGO.
I am DRAGO.
I am DRAGO. All right, Stacy.
Yes,
you have some comments from
him.
I do.
Yes,
I do.
Finally, I've been asking for this forever.
Yeah, right. Anyway, I did Mickey Loves You Monday, and I said, hey, send in the names of those people who always supported you. So I just wanted to read some of the answers. From Robert Kerr, he said, my family, but if you only want one name, is brother Jamie. And then let's see. Karina said my mom, and that was sweet. Tim and Justin said Stacy, because I'm helping them with some online stuff, so that was very nice. Yeah. And then let's see, Ira Green Official says Marco Bronca, and then Beautiful Disaster says my mom. Carol says my mom. Reminder says his brother. Lorenzo says his dad and his wife, and then this person we know, You Were Wild Once, says my dad.
Oh, nice. You were wild once.
Nice. Oh, who's that? Who's that person?
I don't know who that is. Anyway,
that was pretty good.
Yeah, that was sweet. Yeah. You know, it was sweet.
Definitely.
And what about the you did the soundtrack post too, and Rocky IV's the winner.
Oh yeah, Rocky IV's the winner.
Yeah.
It was
Did anyone think?
Yeah, there was others. I would say the second place would have been original Rocky, followed by Rocky 3.
Yeah,
but Rocky it was
4. That was the winner.
I did stop and think of
yes,
for soundtrack and music.
I didn't see this. Well, I clearly my vote. I didn't vote on this.
It could have changed everything. Yeah.
Excuse me. I want to recount.
If you're not following my posts,
I follow your posts. This is a fake election. This has been stolen.
It's rigged.
It's rigged.
Yeah.
This is rigged.
Let's recount.
There's no way. There's no way.
I'm sorry.
That Rocky 4 is beating Rocky 1.
I have proof. It is.
It was rigged, Stacy. Dead people voted on this. It was rigged.
Yeah, dead people did. You know why?
Instagram pages.
You know why 4 wins? 4 wins because what do we always say? The Rocky 4 is the the MTV version,
right?
And it's got the MTV music.
Right.
It always wins.
Hey, I just got.
It may not be like the best score,
right?
Emotionally, but it pumps you up. I'm done. That's for sure. Yeah,
he's leaving.
All right, that's fine.
My favorite soundtrack is the one I make when I combine like
your list,
all the best ones together.
Yeah.
One all the way to
right.
5 or 6.
I got it. Stacy, what is your favorite list? Actually,
my favorite
soundtrack. Yeah.
Soundtrack.
If I answer that, you're gonna get mad at me. So I'm just gonna leave it alone. Yours
is Rocky 4.
I do. But I mean, I was in middle school. It's like when that's like, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like what you started with is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's.
Oh, that I understand. I really do.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where you were introduced to this character.
Yeah.
I gotcha. The point is you were introduced, and that's the important thing.
Right. I love them all.
That's right.
Again, it's like you say, it's like, how do you pick? You love them all, but it's like picking a favorite one. It's like, there's no such thing as bad ice cream.
I know.
They're all good.
Exactly.
When I saw it, I did have to stop for a second. And I was like, wait a minute. Yeah. Okay. And I had to go with the one, like, what have I listened to the most?
The most. I understand that.
Yeah, that's how I.
So I got
soon. That's all.
Rocky 1
better
host.
Taste. Yeah.
Rocky 1 host.
That's fine. Go on, Stacy.
I hear we have a guest waiting.
Do we have a guest?
Yes,
oh,
fantastic!
I heard a beep. We better go get this guy.
Can you send Marjorie down? Send Marjorie down.
Okay.
Marjorie, our new secretary.
I'll text her right now to go get him.
Perfect secretary name, Marjorie.
Marjorie.
All right, guys, this is a very big deal for us.
Get him in here. Huge deal.
We have John Messina from Fight Story here joining us. We have been talking for a little while. We wanted to time his episode for his big announcement, which he has for us today. Welcome, John. I'm going to bring you in. Boom! There he is. Hey, John.
John.
Yo.
Hey, John.
Yo.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
You see, you brought a friend with you right there.
Yeah.
An old
Rocky
friend.
5 Rockies in the background there.
Yeah. He looks a little stiff today. Is he all right?
A little stiff. Loosen him up a little bit.
A little flat.
Yeah.
John Messina, who are you and
Welcome.
why are you here?
Oh my goodness, that's a fabulous question. Number one, can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
loud and clear. You have a lovely voice, John.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. So I am here. I've been working on a project for quite a while called Fight Story, and I would love to tell my story, my own fight story, and kind of tie that together and mesh that together with
Perfect.
The Rocky universe. And I think a lot of people could relate to what I'm about to say.
John, are you a filmmaker?
I am.
What?
Well, let's clarify here. So I'm an actor. I'm a teacher. I pay the bills by teaching. I'm a teacher. I'm a high school teacher.
What do you teach?
Health, phys ed, and sports medicine.
Gotcha.
Wow,
high school level here in New York.
Nice.
Been doing that for 20 years. Wow. And I've been an actor for about 5 or 6 years. And go ahead. I'm sorry.
How did acting start? How did you jump into that?
So as far as acting, I've always wanted to be around filmmaking. I have a very artistic side to me. When I was studying to be a teacher, it was either physical education or art teacher. And I wound up choosing phys ed because of my love for sports and fitness and things like that. This guy definitely helped me steer in that direction. But that's kind of how I ended up where I am today. But as far as filmmaking goes, I always had an artistic side to me and always wanted to be involved, in whatever aspect of filmmaking, whether it was the acting side or behind the scenes. I actually went to school originally for graphic design, and I wanted to be involved in special effects, things like that for filmmaking. That obviously never panned out. So here I am, many years later, kind of pursuing a lifelong dream, and I'm here to kind of tell my story.
Oh, wow. That's great. That's great. We're dying to hear it. Go for it.
All right.
Here
we go. Buckle up. So when I was a very little boy, 2-3 years old, I suffered a series of seizures. And I was kind of like borderline epileptic. And because of this issue that I suffered through, it kind of affected me neurologically. And when I went off to school, as I got a little bit older, I struggled so bad. I mean, as bad as you could possibly struggle, that was this guy. And, after struggling year after year, my parents had me put through a battery of tests. And it came back that I had a severe learning disability, kind of as a result of, the seizures that I suffered early on. And my brain and everything, it just wasn't, I guess, developing at the same rate as other kids my age. So I wound up having this severe disability. I couldn't read, I couldn't write. And it became this like crutch and crippling effect for me. And it really affected me mentally. I suffered from anxiety because of this. My confidence level was non-existent. It was very, very crippling for myself, and a very difficult situation. And I can remember I was 8 years old. I feel like it was yesterday. I'm 43 now. And I feel like it was just yesterday that I came home. It was a Friday, end of the week, and I had failed a test. And I was devastated because I studied really, really hard. And my mom, I actually felt really bad for my mom because she studied alongside with me, for hours. And I took this test and I wound up failing it. And I was crushed. I came home Friday and I was crushed by this. So I'm at the dinner table. I have my mom, my dad, and I'm nonverbal. I'm not speaking at this point. So I look up and my dad looks at my mom looks at my dad, and they kind of give each other like, I think it's time. And my dad goes off into a wooden cabinet we had nearby. And when he comes back, he emerges like he just found the Holy Grail. I'm not kidding. And he comes down with the VHS tape of the original Rocky 1.
Wow.
And my mom says, we want to show you this film. And it's very important that you watch this movie, because this movie inspired us, my mom and my dad. And we hope that it has the same effect on you. And I had never heard of the movie. I'm 8 years old. I have no idea who Rocky is. And I sit down, I have my mom and my dad next to me on the couch, and they proceed to play the movie. And I'm totally all in the second it begins. I don't even know why. I have no idea what even drew me to this character. I mean, I have an idea now, but looking back, like as an 8-year-old, why would an 8-year-old, be infatuated with this figure? Mm-hmm. But long story short, I remember sitting there, I'm grasping the couch, I'm starting to sweat, especially as the movie's building. And as we're getting, deeper and deeper into the film, and, millions of people could relate to this, but round 14 happens and something inside me changes. And the best way I could equate it to is probably a spiritual awakening for myself, as if a light switch was flicked on and now I'm alive. Something that was not alive is now alive inside me. And I just remember saying, holy crap. That was the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen. When Rocky gets knocked down that last time and he's crawling around on the floor and he's grasping for the ropes and Mickey's telling him to stay down and he winds up climbing to his feet and kind of shocking the world that he went the distance. That was it for me. It was over. And that lit a fire that has not stopped burning for decades now. And I know all of you could definitely relate to that, and your audience, absolutely can relate. But that's how it started for me. That one film on a Friday night as an 8-year-old.
Wow. That's a great story.
Unbelievable.
Now we fast forward a little bit, and actually a lot of it, if that's okay. And my dad, who he's my absolute hero, my best friend, he and my mother are like the epitome of Rocky and Adrian, because they were always the underdog and kind of like the least likely candidate to ever find success. And my dad, who with very, very little, education, barely graduated high school. To be honest, I'm not even sure if he ever did. He wound up becoming a very successful businessman. And, he had this tenacity. Him and my mom had this great passion and tenacity of never giving up. And I kind of tie that in with, the Rocky philosophy of no matter how many times you get knocked down, you just keep getting back up and eventually something good will happen. And that's kind of the gift that they left me with, as I was growing up and even as an adult. And my dad wound up getting diagnosed with lung cancer about 6 years ago now. And unfortunately, I lost him. And it was a devastating blow for me to lose my dad, my hero, my best friend. But here's the best part of the whole thing. 2 days before my dad passes away, he calls me into his room. And if you knew anything about my dad, he was such a character. He had an unbelievable personality. He was hysterical. Everybody loved him. So when he called me into his room, I knew that, things were coming to the end. And this may be the last day or two, before I have to say my final goodbye. But when he called me into his room, he pulled me in real close and he said, "You have to do me a favor." And again, if you knew my dad, God only knows what's going to come out of his mouth. I have no idea what he's going to ask me to do. So, but he gets real serious, and I could tell there was a certain look in his eye that it was about to go down. It was about to get real serious in the room. And it's just me and him. It's real quiet. And he says, "You have to do me a really, really important favor." And he says, "You have to run the Rocky steps for me." And it was always something we kind of had planned on doing together, but for whatever reason, never got the opportunity to fulfill that as a father-son. And, that's something that will always bother me, you know, that I'll never have that opportunity to do that with my dad. But yeah, he asked me to do that as one of his last wishes, to run the Rocky Steps. So unfortunately, 48 hours after that, he passed away, said my final goodbye. And rough. It was not easy to go through that. Anybody that's lost a parent or a loved one, anybody can relate to that. You know, we've all been there. And unfortunately, we all have to get to that point. You know, it's an unfortunate part of life. About a year after that, my mom, who, like I said, she's the Adrian to my dad's Rocky. She's my heart and soul. And I'm going to get emotional. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
She wound up getting diagnosed with stage 4 brain cancer a year after my dad passed away. And she wound up calling me on a Sunday morning. We always chat, you know, had a little chat on Sunday morning. And she called me up and she was kind of slurring her speech on the phone. And she didn't sound right. So actually, jokingly, I asked her, you know, were you out last night drinking? And long running joke, my mother never drank in her entire life. So that was, you know, part of the humor in the whole thing.
Yeah.
But she said, you know, she woke up with a terrible headache and, you know, her speech was being affected by it. And up to that point, my mother was extremely healthy, you know, no health issues, nothing, no signs of cancer, nothing. And, you know, obviously we found that important to get that checked out immediately. So we did. And sure enough, she had stage 4 brain cancer. From that day, from that phone call, she lived for about 6 months. And, you know, I wound up losing my mom. And it was, again, another devastating blow. Here's where things get even crazier. My grandmother, my mom's mom, she wound up passing away less than 24 hours after my mom.
Oh.
So there was definitely,
you hear that.
Yeah, there was definitely, you know, a connection there between my mom and, you know, my grandmother. And, you know, the beautiful side of that was that they got to experience and go off to the next, whatever the next life is or whatever you believe in. They were experiencing that together. I believe that anyway.
Yeah.
So now I've lost, within a 1.5 year span, 3 of the most influential people I'd ever known in my entire life. And I definitely start to fall off a little bit. I start to slip away. And, you know, going through a little depression, and just every aspect of my life is I feel like I'm being challenged. Like nothing's coming easy anymore.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So about 6 months after losing all 3, you know, I wake up I think it was February. One February morning, it was cold. It was like 20 degrees out. And I don't know what changed. I have no idea. I have really no explanation for why my mind even went there. But I woke up and I just had a completely different mindset. And I felt good. You know, started to feel like strong again, you know, mentally strong. And with this, I remembered the promise that my dad asked me to make for him. And the promise was to go to Philadelphia and run the Rocky Steps. So here I am. I'm like, boom, I got to get up. I have one goal, one mission to accomplish. I got to get to Philadelphia like ASAP. So I wake up. I tell my wife, you know, I got to get to Philadelphia. She looks at me like I have 3 heads. I'm like, it's okay. I'm not leaving you. I love you. I love our daughters. I'm coming. I will come back. I promise. But I got to go to the steps. I got to go take care of business real quick. So I leave New York. It's like 7:30 at night. It's like a 3-hour drive, 3.5 hour drive from where I live. So I wound up getting to the steps around 11 o'clock at night, maybe a little bit 10:30 around there. And it's like 20 degrees out, February. So I arrive, I pull right up to the front of the steps, and it's a complete ghost town. Mike, I know you know exactly the rule of the land, you know, around the steps. It's usually a lot of hustle bustle, but when I got there, it was completely desolate. Nobody was there. When I say this, I'm not kidding. It was me and the steps. I was completely alone. And a part of me was dreading that climb because I knew that I was probably going to have to face some emotions that, you know, were dug deep down. And I don't know, as a man, you kind of suppress that sometimes. So it was a little bit rough. You know, when I got there, I'm like, all right, I'm here, but now I got to deal with, you know, the real deal feelings that are buried down deep inside. So I begin to make this emotional climb to the top. And what transpired next was kind of something that I never imagined in my wildest dreams could ever happen. With each step that I was taking, I literally felt like I was getting stronger. Every step that I'm taking, I'm like, oh my God, I'm starting, I actually feel pretty good right now. And then I arrived to the very top of the steps. I turn and I look out at the city of Philadelphia, which is one of my favorite views in all of the entire world. And I kind of just collapse. I just sit there and collapse with emotion. And I'm kind of overcome by tears and, you know, everything that I went through in the last year and a half. And within moments, within seconds of that collapse and tears and all of the, you know, the waterworks coming down, it hits me like out of nowhere, like as if I was struck by a bolt of lightning. And with getting hit, I got hit with this idea that I should probably start to write a series based on people that have had some really difficult times in their life, but have overcome because of their inspiration from this guy right here.
Right.
And the, you know, the Rocky films. And I immediately felt rejuvenated, like as if electricity was flowing through my veins. Something changed. I don't know what it was, but the best way I can explain it is this. The feeling that I got the first time I watched the movie when I was 8 with my parents, when that light switch was flicked on, I had the same exact feeling at the top of those steps after losing my parents and my grandmother, and getting hit with the idea to write Fight Story.
John, you never had this idea before?
No.
It was just,
I had messed around with other ideas having to do with Rocky and, you know, inspiration and stuff like that. But the idea to write a story and have people come on and tell their story because they went through difficult situations, but overcame because of these movies, that was the first time that ever popped into my head. And I couldn't believe it. And I'm like, I think this feels right. I may be onto something. So let me give this a shot. So I immediately get in my car, drive home, and I put out one Facebook ad. And the ad, it was basically a call to anybody that's a Rocky fan that had some tough things in their life and they overcame because of their inspiration from the films. I put that out on a Sunday evening. And when I woke up, I kid you not, when I woke up on Monday morning, I had over 250 emails in my inbox.
Oh my
God.
Wow.
By Wednesday of that same week, I had 500. By the end of the week, I had over 1,000 emails in my inbox. So that's when I kind of knew, all right, I think I know what I have to do now.
Yeah. I think I'm onto something. Right.
Yeah. So that's basically, in a nutshell, how I got to where I am right now.
Wow. I think there's no mistake that you were there. I don't know. I mean, I believe that there's something on the other side too, and I don't think there's any mistake that you were there alone. I mean, to think that it's usually very busy, and you know that was a very private moment, and to be able to have no distractions and step by step something sort of growing in you from your toes up, and how it just hits you. I don't think there's any mistake there. That's I love that image right there is very cool. And it would be on film too. That's
John,
cool.
Fight Story is a film or a series?
So my plan
broken
is
up into a series.
Yeah, my plan is to do a 3-part documentary series. They're all feature length. So meaning they're over an hour long. Each part is over an hour long. We're fully complete with part 1. We're getting ready to release part 1. All filming for part 2 is done. We're going to get ready to do the editing portion of that soon, within the next, month or 2. And then we move on to 3. So
wow. No, I was just curious if you had any release date, or do you know when that's going to be available? I'm assuming it's streaming.
So this is my big announcement.
Oh, right here. First time ever?
First
on the
time
Rocky
ever.
Files?
On the Rocky
Oh,
Files.
All right.
nice.
All right.
Oh, thank you.
We'll take it.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So yeah, to be honest, I'm very excited, and everybody that's involved with me, all the people that have told their story, and they're such heartwarming stories. I feel such a connection to everybody that's been involved with me. Truthfully, I feel like I'm going to have this connection for the rest of my life with a lot of these people, and if nothing else, that for me is a win. It's amazing, and I'm sure you guys could agree with this. Rocky fans are the best fans in the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're a Rocky fan, if you love the Rocky movies, for me anyway, you're automatically going to be a halfway decent person.
Right. Right.
So true.
Yeah.
So true.
The plan is to release part 1 on tomorrow, February 11th, on 3 different platforms. The first one being Vimeo. The second one is a streaming platform called Reelhouse. It's actually website reelhouse.org. You could find Fight Story Part 1 through Reelhouse.
Okay.
And the last one is on an app called Action Sports TV. So we have 3 different locations where we're going to begin our film campaign, so to speak. And we will have other platforms that we will be announcing down the road within the coming weeks. I've been so lucky to have such a wonderful team of distributors that are that fell in love with what I'm doing and my film, and they're willing to kind of help me out, which is any help is always good help. So that's kind of where we're at with that. And as far as the film itself, it'll be a video on demand structure. So when you stream it, it'll be $2.99 to rent and $9.99 to purchase it.
Okay.
Nice.
What was your criteria when you were looking for your topics, the people
subjects,
you're looking for, your subjects? Yeah. What was
how
did you of all the hundreds of emails you got, how did you narrow it down?
Yeah, very, very, very difficult. If I could add another very, I would add another very. Really, really not easy to do. It took a long time. I did go through every single story that everybody sent me.
Right.
I felt like in the very least I owed that to everyone that took the time to submit.
Right.
But for me, if the story struck my heart, struck a chord with me immediately, I wanted to hear more. And then from there was another criteria. Each person kind of had to be, well-spoken. They're going to be in front of a camera.
Right.
If nobody can understand what they're saying, it's going to be a little difficult, to put them in a film and have them speak. So there was definitely a criteria that had to be met. And the people that met the criteria, they're just such wonderful people. And nobody's making money. Nobody was paid to be a part of this. I could speak for myself. I'm not in this for money. I have, no interest in fame, fortune. This is a passion for me. My dad told me to meet, to run those steps for him. And I now understand why he told me to run those steps for him.
Of all the Rockies, and we all love all of them, but do you have a favorite one?
Rocky 1. The original Rocky is my all-time favorite movie. Not just a favorite Rocky, it's my all-time favorite movie.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's great.
Do you have a favorite soundtrack?
A favorite soundtrack. I have favorite tracks.
Nope. Soundtrack.
The whole film.
You can only pick one.
It's very difficult.
If you don't pick it, all prints of Fight Story get burned. You have to pick one.
I will have to go with the original. The original soundtrack.
There you go. Mike likes that.
Stacy, I'm not gonna lie, I'm right behind you. Rocky 4 soundtrack is very high on my list.
Yep.
But Gonna Fly Now, Going the Distance, I mean, they're just unbeatable. You can't beat that.
Yeah.
I actually told my family when I pass away, if you play the song Going the Distance, you will see somebody rise from the dead.
Oh my goodness.
That's how powerful that song is.
That's how powerful.
Yep.
It does get you it gets you up. If anything, it definitely gets you up. It's an instant mood upper, 100%. Non-medical. John, has the person behind you have they caught wind of this, or do you have any idea?
That's a good question. I'm going to say no. I'm going to be completely honest, though. It is so important to me that Mr. Stallone sees Fight Story at some point, because what we've created it's really a visual thank you letter to everything that he's done.
Yeah.
From not only myself, but from everybody that's a part of Fight Story. It's a visual thank you letter. So it's very important that eventually he sees what we've created.
Yeah.
Right.
And that is a tribute to Rocky and everything that Rocky does, and him personally too, all his hard work and everything.
Absolutely.
And to think you were so inspired to do something like that. I can't imagine he wouldn't be very touched by such a tribute to Rocky and so forth. I think that would be that'd be amazing. I'd be so happy for you if you knew about it. That'd be exciting.
Right.
That would be incredible.
If you can give us a sneak peek without giving away too much, one of your favorite scenes, or tease us.
Oh boy. I honestly have so many favorite parts. I have a little boy. When he was in the film, he was 5. He's now 6. His nickname actually around town is Mini Rocky. He's got such an incredible story. He's autistic, and he's type 1 diabetic. And his family, his parents they're such wonderful people. And I've gotten so close, with him and his family. But his story is just so heartwarming. And just to see him kind of interact, and when he's watching the Rocky films, you could see that there's a change in him that would normally not be there had he not seen these films. And to me, that's it's pure magic.
Oh, wow.
And I can't wait to have the opportunity to share that with everybody. Is just such a blessing. It really is. Wow. It really is.
There's always a question I like to ask people. If you got 30 seconds in an elevator with Sly, what do you say to him?
Oh, man. Obviously, I think I would start off with thank you. Thank you for all the hope and inspiration that you've given me and everyone throughout the years. But I think the best way that I could kind of sum it all up is this. I don't want to mess this up. It's a good one. So every time you and your character Rocky got knocked down, every time you and your character Rocky got knocked down and then got back up, every single one of us got back up with you in unison as one. And that's the best way that I could sum up my thank you to Sly, because that's exactly what happened to me. When he climbed when he climbed those ropes and climbed to his feet in round 14 and got back up, that lit a fire in me that hasn't stopped burning, for so long. Wow. And I'll never be able to thank him fully for that, honestly. Even with Fight Story, it's not enough.
Right.
Amazing.
Thank you so much for having me on, guys. Truly appreciate it.
No, we definitely can't wait to see it. John, where can we find you?
Facebook, Instagram, John Messina. On Instagram, I'm John Messina Jr.
Excellent.
TikTok, I'm Johnny Boy.
Okay.
Watch out on TikTok. They're very cruel on TikTok. Oh, TikTok, they're vicious animals.
Yeah.
I can give you some advice.
Anyways, John, thank you very much.
Thank you so
much.
much.
Have a great night.
Thank you so much, guys.
You're welcome. Thank you, John. Thank you.
Thank you. Be well.
Good stuff, guys. Good stuff.
So nice. He did so good.
Yeah,
he did such a great job.
Yeah, really well done.
I mean, that's the stuff. I mean, he's kind of doing on a bigger scale what we do when we have our guests on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just
right.
Like we have people on who have these amazing stories, and then he goes ahead and makes a whole episode out of it. That's very cool.
Documentary.
That's very
it
cool.
gives those people a voice. It gives them a voice, and they're good
bigger
people.
platform, longer platform. But it's that's crazy. What a story. It was crazy. But just that light bulb goes off like that is amazing. So can't wait to see it.
Anthony, where can people find you? Except not at the health spa. Where can they find you?
Instagram, Rocky Files co-host. That's
beautiful.
That's as far as I get. TikTok, I haven't graduated.
Stacy,
I don't know if I can handle it.
Other than Mentel, where can people find you?
I'm Had Me at Yo. I'm on the Rocky Files, and I'm also You Were Wild Once is my sort of my men's mental health awareness page. Is You Were Wild Once. So
nice.
Nice.
We will be checking all of that out. Looking forward to seeing all of your posts as always. Only now I'm gonna have to pay closer attention because how did I miss voting on the best music? I wrote a book called Cue the Rocky Music. I didn't get a vote on this.
She's got questions and there's stuff steady, so you really gotta pay attention. You could quickly miss things. Yeah, sometimes
I have conversations off. I call Stacy every once in a while. She'll call me. Well, we'll have a conversation. Never got mentioned. And I think she knows it's because it was a Rocky 4 versus Rocky 1 thing.
It could have been.
She didn't want to tell me.
Yeah, they didn't want to piss you off.
Those stories are there for 24 hours. So
24 hours.
Well, that's what happens. I have an attention span of about 12 seconds. It's about
hard.
the lifespan of a gnat. My attention span is horrible.
It's hard. There's so many things flying on it. It's just
you're right.
It's easy to miss something, and then sometimes you'll go back how did I miss that?
I know. This is
happens.
news to me. This is literally news to me. About this. We're gonna do another poll in a little while.
Sometimes I'll miss a story of yours, and then just pop up later on. I'm like,
pops up.
When was this? 2 days ago. 2 days
right.
Yeah, I know.
I missed that one.
2 days in social media is like 12 years.
Right. It was like 12 years.
I know. Anyways, guys, I am so glad we got to hang out. And listen, we will see each other next week, I suppose.
Absolutely.
I suppose. Yeah. So, as we always
say,
keep punching.
Keep punching.
Absolutely.
Bye, everybody.
Good night.